Now, from the studios of Into Tomorrow in Miami, this is ITTV.
Our next guest sells an omni-directional treadmill, if you will, that lets players walk and run, and even walk and run backwards, all kind of fun stuff, inside video games and VR worlds. He's the founder and CEO of Virtuix, and his name is Jan Goetgeluk. Jan, welcome back Into Tomorrow. How are you, sir?
Very well. Thank you, Dave, for having me. Pleasure to be part of your show.
It's a pleasure to have you with us as well. You're doing something quite unique. And Chris, of course, is also mixing video. And in the control room, they're watching the video of exactly what this device is. I was reminded by one of my producers that we interviewed one of your associates at the Game Developers Conference way back in 2014 when you were introducing this, mostly for arcades and maybe shopping malls and big operations. We were even more excited when we heard that you will be introducing a version for consumers. So first of all, tell me a little bit about the company that you founded, and then let's get into the goodies.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, we sell the Omni. The Omni, as you mentioned, is an omni-directional platform that lets players walk around inside video games and other virtual reality applications. So it's a wild experience. We've been around for a few years as a company. We were one of the first companies in this new wave of virtual reality innovation. In the last few years, we have focused on the commercial markets, mostly VR arcades, entertainment centers, and sold our attraction to those type of venues. And now, excitingly enough, we are bringing the Omni to the home. That is our next phase of our company, to bring an Omni system to consumers for home use.
And I don't remember at the time, again, way back in 2014, what the cost was, but it was certainly prohibitive, I think, for most consumers. That's why you were, of course, addressing the business end of things, a B2B, if you will. But now the B2C, or business to consumer operation, is very exciting. Do you have a price yet and a potential availability on the Omni for the home?
Yep, absolutely. And the Omni for the home, we call the system Omni One. So Omni One is our upcoming home system. It's not ready yet. We plan to start shipping by the end of this year.
Good.
The price will be, it's still not for everybody. It's it's $2,000 for the complete system, including a headset. So it's a complete entertainment system that works out of the box. It's, towards our investors, we often use the term Peloton for gamers.
Oh, I like that. And it's a great analogy because it does kind of drive that point home, because you are writing it, if you will. You are engaged. And a lot of folks listening and, of course, watching the video at intotomorrow.com are able to say, yeah, VR is very cool. We've talked about it for years, of course. But we've also talked about how, with the exception of some gaming, it really hasn't found a niche, it seems, in these last many years. But then you take it an amazing, giant step further, I think, with the Omni. So tell me, first of all, what you think is the current state of VR in gaming, and where are we headed into tomorrow?
Yeah. VR took some time to take off mass market. It really followed the Gartner hype cycle, for those who are familiar with that. It was a peak of the hype in 2015, 16, and then the trough of disillusionment. You know what, VR, it's not taking off as much. There's not yet tens of millions of headsets in the field. What's going on? And now we are in this, what I call a slope of enlightenment. VR is now steadily taking off. Oculus Quest, for example, which is a consumer product, $300 for the headset, great headset. They are approaching the 10 million unit mark, so certainly getting there, now finally getting to that mass market adoption. We indeed take it to the next level. With the Omni, you're not just sitting down, you're not just standing in place with a headset on and pushing buttons on a controller to move around. With the Omni, you are physically moving around, walking around, running around inside that virtual world. So we do take it to the next level. It's almost like in the movie Ready Player One. You know, some have seen that movie. That's really what we offer. It's we put players inside the video game or inside the virtual world.
In fact, you really help a player to be one with the game in every sense of the word. I mean, we talk about these VR headsets, you know, Facebook's Oculus, all this other stuff, and that's fine for some people, but you're not knocking over a coffee table or tripping over the dog or something of that nature. You're actually immersed in a game, and when it calls for walking or even running or backing up and so forth, you're doing it, and you've got wireless controllers. Again, we're showing this on the video right now at intotomorrow.com, so you've got to really see this. Even if you're not into gaming, this is awesome. This is truly a cool product, I think.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. And it's beyond gaming. Gaming is certainly a clear application. Lots of gamers out there that want to be truly immersed in the game, and that's what this offers. But beyond gaming, you can think of virtual tourism, walking around inside Paris virtually.
Yeah.
Or enterprise applications as well, like training and simulation, exercise and fitness, trade shows, events, social gatherings. So there's many more applications beyond gaming of VR and of the Omni specifically, which truly allows you to move around naturally inside those virtual worlds. And that makes a big difference, highly immersive.
And Jan, you bring up yet another good point, and that is even just a physical fitness opportunity. I mean, I'm lucky if I manage to get on my run-of-the-mill treadmill, a standard treadmill, but I can't even do that if I don't have the TV on across the room and crank it up and try to be somewhat motivated in that sense. But if I'd used an Omni, I would see that, number one, I'm not going to fall off the treadmill either. Explain to the radio audience who have yet to see this video how that works, how you're kind of, in a sense, strapped in, but I don't mean that in a confining way.
Yeah, you are held in place with Omni One. You wear a vest that is part of the system, and you are right. You cannot fall, you cannot trip. You're securely in place, but you are able to move around in 360 degrees. And you are correct. You are burning calories while playing video games.
Oh, yeah.
It is a treadmill. You are walking or running. Some of our players are running at full speed, playing a first-person shooter game, highly intense. And that part is appealing to many. Hey, I can play video games, but hey, this may also help me stay in shape. Or parents who want to get their kids off the couch. Hey, play the Omni. At least you're moving around and not sitting on your butt. So
that's true.
It's a nice side benefit.
What a great marketing opportunity. Hey, parents, get your kids off their butts. I think right there you're going to get a lot of attention. Oh, how do I do that? And then work on some financing or something, and they'll say, you know what, it's very worth it by all means. So now, again, for the radio audience, yet seeing the video, and you've got to do that when you have a chance at intotomorrow.com. If you're driving, don't be looking at the radio. The point is, imagine kind of an oversized satellite dish is probably a good way to describe it, that you're walking on, that you're standing on, and you're literally moving inside this concave disc, I guess is a good way. How do you describe the base?
Yeah, you did that pretty well, Dave. A concave dish is a good way to put it. Yeah.
Good. And now, do you need special shoes or something? Because it looks like you're doing moonwalking in some cases, or kind of like Michael Jackson, where you're sliding. And it seems to me that you can't do that in like a regular pair of sneakers. You just get stuck there.
Exactly. The whole technology is based on low friction. So it's a treadmill, but it doesn't have moving parts. It's not that you have belts rolling around in various directions. It's actually based on low friction. It's a low friction base.
Good.
And you also wear low friction shoes. So you basically slide on this dish, but the shoe is designed as such that it mimics a natural gait. So to your brain, it actually feels like you're walking on a treadmill, but you're actually sliding. So that's really the key to this technology.
And I'm imagining, as you mentioned earlier, even the ability to do a little tourism, virtual tourism. There's always places you wish you could go, and maybe you still will get there one day when we're back to normal, whatever that is. But in the meantime, this might be a good way to work with companies that produce those kinds of videos and work with your company. And of course, less friction. I try to live by that rule anyway. So that's not a bad thing. I understand, Jan, that you organize a lot of esports events as well. Does that include the Omni and being able to do some virtual reality gaming with it?
Yeah, exactly. Esports is an up-and-coming trend. It's basically competitive gaming, video gaming, people making money and being part of teams playing video games, which is becoming more and more popular here in the US.
And it seems like more and more people making money doing that, which is interesting. A lot of people like, wow, must be nice. I love to play video games. Imagine doing it for a living. Well, it doesn't happen to a lot of people, but those that can achieve that, good on them.
Good on them, but they will tell you that it's no longer just a hobby. They work out, they have a training regimen. It's intense. It's almost like, it's like literally like being a professional athlete. Most of them will tell you that it's no longer that much fun either, once you do it competitively. Yeah. But we do it too with our Omni Arena attraction, which we have at places like Dave & Buster's, those kind of entertainment venues I mentioned. And there's weekly and monthly esports contests with a $100,000 prize pool. Wow. And so every week players come play, they can play on the Omnis and they can win prizes if they hit the highest score. And the neat thing is that we add a physical element to that video gaming because, yes, it's a video game, but hey, you are also physically active on the Omni. So we add physicality to the esports part, which is really exciting, both for players and also for the audience.
And I like the fact that it doesn't seem that there's much of an opportunity to hurt yourself. As I mentioned earlier, with just a plain VR headset, you want to try to walk around a little bit, you may be tripping. I've seen way too many people doing that, even at game developer conferences or trade shows and stuff. It's like, really? They rope off an area and they're standing by to catch you when you fall. That's not likely to happen with the Omni.
Won't happen, no. You're held in place and strapped in place. So yeah, no one's falling on the Omni.
Good. Now, is there an age limit, lower and upper, for the Omni?
Yeah, it's basically the age limit for VR in general. Younger kids, let's say 5 years, 6 years and younger, tend to have a hard time seeing through the VR glasses because their eyes are still too close together.
And their heads are too small to hold it, probably.
Yeah, the VR headset is too big, and you hear them say, oh, I can't, it's blurry, I can't see. So typically for VR in general, I'd say 7 years is probably the minimum age. And then there's no upper limit, frankly.
As long as you can stand and walk at whatever age. Yep. You'll be fine with it. Jan, where do you see virtual reality headed into tomorrow in general? Certainly, I'm guessing a lot more of the Omni sort of scenario, but do you think we're going to see some more ebbing and flowing and ups and downs, if you will?
I think it's only up from here. I think we're on that slope of enlightenment of the Gartner hype cycle, as I mentioned. Yeah. So it's slowly and steadily gaining bigger and bigger and bigger audiences, more users, more consumers, more headsets in the field. The technology is very good now. You no longer need a gaming PC to power VR. This standalone headset, you put it on your head, self-contained, everything just works easily out of the box for everybody. That's the game changer. So yeah, I think VR will become more and more dominant as a form of entertainment. Gaming, but also more and more for other applications. I do think we'll start moving more towards Ready Player One, towards that movie where a lot of people start to spend a lot of time in VR, whether that's for gaming or other applications.
Sure.
And whether that's with the Omni or without the Omni, of course, the cool kids have the Omni.
Of course, the cool rich kids at the moment. But in the meantime, though, is it easy to add other games, whether it's gaming or ultimately to add videos for virtual tourism or some physical fitness kind of videos? Is it like plugging in a USB or something of that nature to add more games, since you mentioned there's not a standalone PC involved?
Yeah, no, the games are part of the game store that is part of the self-contained headset. Okay. It's almost like a mobile phone on your head, frankly. Gotcha. And so there's a game store on the headset. Yeah, games for VR are typically designed in what is called a game engine, Unity or Unreal Engine 4. So there's some work there. We have a kit that easily integrates with existing content, existing games. So it's not that difficult to integrate our device specifically into existing VR games. But it's a bit more involved than just a video. It's really creating a whole 3D environment.
Sure.
But there's tools nowadays that make that more and more easy and quick.
And Jan, you mentioned earlier Dave & Buster's. Is that one of the kinds of places where folks can see and even experience the Omni?
That's right. Yeah, we are at over 500 entertainment venues around the world with our commercial system,
Awesome.
Including Dave & Buster's here in the US, Sky Zone, trampoline parks, those type of venues. Many of those have an Omni system.
Terrific. And that's the kind of place you want to take the family, and then when they have such a great time, then work on. You said it's available by the end of this year, so maybe just in time for Christmas. So
Yep.
the whole family can decide that's what we want for Christmas in the game room. Terrific. Get them off the butts, off the couch, and onto the Omni.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly right. Yeah. And Omni One specifically, you can find more information at invest.virtuix.com. We're doing a small financing round even for Omni One, which is breaking records. But anyone who's interested in that aspect, how can I participate? How can I invest in a company like ours? Actually, you can today. At invest.virtuix.com. You'll see more information there.
I understand you're working with Regulation A crowdfunding. What does that mean, real quick?
Yeah, exactly. This is a new regulation since a few years now that allows everyday investors to invest in technology startups like ours, for example, filed with the SEC, so official. Usually before that wasn't possible. Everyday investors could not invest in tech startups. You could not invest, for example, in Facebook or Amazon or those kind of companies in their early days. You had to wait until they went public. Nowadays, with Regulation A, you can invest in tech startup like ours. And we're doing such a campaign right now. It's almost 100% funded, I shall say. It's a $15 million round.
Wow.
And we're at $13 million today, and it's over April 2nd. So we're at the tail end. And it's broken records, frankly. It's gone beyond our wildest dreams, so we're very happy with it. But it is indeed possible now to invest and participate in the upside potential of VR and a product like ours.
Oh, terrific. And that's because you have something that is truly of interest to a lot of people. Again, as I said, even if you're not into gaming, you've got to check out the Omni. And you can do that at Virtuix.com. It's VIRTUIX.com. We'll get you there, of course, when you visit us at intotomorrow.com. And you're going to do that because you've got to see the video of my interview with Jan, and we're showing you the Omni. And we're even taking a peek at the consumer version of the Omni in this video as well. So do check it out. Run Around in VR is a great way to talk about it. It's a full-body virtual reality and esports for your home, and it's coming from Virtuix. Jan, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure we stay in touch. When it is out on the market and available by the end of this year, we got to have you back on at the very least to talk more about it.
Thank you so much, Dave, for having me. Thanks.
It's my
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Sure, it's our pleasure. Virtuix.com for more. When you visit us at intotomorrow.com, you can check out that video. And again, you really want to see this because you can imagine all sorts of opportunities. Like, I'm personally not a gamer, but I would love to use it instead of my boring regular treadmill. I would love to take some virtual tourism trips, if you will, and walk through all sorts of things. Imagine walking through museums or something, or walking through a city you've always wanted to go to. I think this is going to be truly an extra great opportunity with products such as this. So do check it out, intotomorrow.com. I'm Dave Graveline, bringing you further into tomorrow right here on the Advanced Media Network. Thank you, sir. That was awesome.